It's time now for the best high school sports action from the WBCB Sports Network. Catch the best games from Bucks and Mercer County at WBCBsports.com and our Facebook page. Your home for high school sports is right here at WBCB 1490.
Good evening and welcome to Week 2 coverage of Pennsbury Falcon football on the WBCB Sports Network. Tonight, the Pennsbury Falcons host the Panthers of William Tennent. It's the McCaffrey's game of the night. Chris Ermer with Gus Barber, Ben Goldstein, and MK Maher ready to bring you the coverage. We're at Henry C. Morgan Stadium on the campus of Harry S. Truman High School, the temporary home field for the Pennsbury Falcons before they move back to Falcon Field on the 14th. Tonight's game on WBCB is brought to you by Rob's Automotive, BCWSA, the Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority, Penn Community Bank, Team Toyota, PNC Bank, Kim Rock of Keller Williams, McCaffrey's Supermarket. Again, this is the McCaffrey's game of the night. Right now, captain's going out there for the coin toss, and we'll have a performance of the long orange line coming up before kickoff. Tonight's game also made possible by St. Mary Medical Center, the Pennsbury Education Support Professionals, the Revere Restaurant, Junior's Car Wash, Lower Bucks Hospital, Puss in Boots Tavern, Kramer's Bakery, Charcoal BYOB, the Peruzzi Auto Group, BAI Security Systems, the Pennsbury Football Parents Club, thanks to Johnson Chiropractic, to Yardley Pharmacy and Supply, Jammer Doors, the Trentonian, Villa Rosa Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, and Yardley Family Haircutters. Well, William Tennent wrapping up their warm-ups, getting us closer to kickoff tonight. And again, then we'll see the Pennsbury Falcon Marching Band. Falcons coming in at 0-1, same thing for William Tennent. Guys, both these teams looking for their first win of the season, and both teams on the wrong end of a lopsided final last week. Pennsbury falling to Coatesville 29-7, and William Tennent upended by Council Rock South 27-3. So interesting matchup, and interesting, Ben, that this is a familiar spot kind of for Pennsbury, because it reminds us a lot of where they were last year, like almost the identical same spot in a certain way.
It is literally the exact same, pretty much the exact same scenario, except Pennsbury is at home this time. Last year, Pennsbury got a Week 1 beating from Coatesville. This year, same thing. And now again, they're playing the Panthers of William Tennent in Week 2, both 0-1. Last time Pennsbury played William Tennent, they snapped their 17-game losing streak. Tonight, they look to snap a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, and that's another big difference, Gus, that the Pennsbury Falcons, last time they took on the William Tennent Panthers in last high school football season, they were on the wrong end of an 0-17 record. And higher expectations for this Pennsbury team this season. And last week, they really were plugging away at that ground and pound offense. Galen was telling me before the game he felt like after the third possession or so, they felt like they got something going. They were moving the football, didn't get any points up on the board, but took some positives out of that Week 1 game.
Yeah, and especially for an offense like this that has a lot of holes to replace in this offense. New quarterback, new running back, just a lot of not unexperienced, but a lot of new faces in this offense. There was a lot of kinks and little things that they had to get out of that offense, and they figured it out. But, yeah, like you said, a little bit of a similar situation from last year. Same opponent, same record, but this year it's a little bit of a different team. Obviously, they came into that game last year coming off that 0-17 streak, finally snapping it with that win. This team, a lot of hype coming into this team after that success from last year, just barely missing out in the playoff with that first game loss against North Penn. So this team, totally different scenario from the team last year, but similar situations.
You know, for William Tennent, they are led by youngsters. Talking about fresh faces on the Pennsbury Falcon team, Gus. Well, it's a sophomore quarterback, Derek Gunther, who is the signal caller for the William Tennent Panthers, and one of his main ball carriers, a fellow sophomore, Lorenzo Hurley. Again, Panthers only putting 3 points up on the board against Council Rock South. That was their Week 1 opponent, and they got a 40-yard field goal off the foot of Kyle Flack. He is a senior kicker, and Ben, I just love when the kicking game can get incorporated, and if he can hit from 40, it is a weapon that you don't necessarily see a lot at the high school football level. And I don't know, I hope to see him get a chance to kick a field goal, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if the Falcons are pitching a shutout, then I don't want to see him necessarily get a chance to kick a field goal. But I don't know, I like the kicking game.
Yeah, Pennsbury's defense is another thing they have to keep in the back of their heads, is that they have a kicker. So they have to make sure they don't get in field goal range towards the end of the game if needed. Try and keep that kicker on the sideline.
Yeah, that's really the only weapon that was working for William Tennent in the game against Council Rock South, because Council Rock, they had a lot of pressure on that sophomore quarterback, really couldn't get the offense going, and the Falcons will try the same thing. All right, here onto the football field come the Long Orange Line, the Pennsbury Falcon Marching Band. This is the McCaffrey's game of the night on WBCB. As we get you closer to kickoff, and let's hear what they're saying about the Long Orange Line.
ABC Duncan Thanksgiving Day Parade in Philadelphia, and this year marks the band's 41st consecutive year. This spring, the band will be traveling to France to perform at the American Cemetery at Omaha Beach in Normandy and Disneyland Paris. This year's captain,
Marching band.
guard,
Play the drums.
Lydia Filosi, percussion, Gabe Fuentes, Sophie Olenek, and band captain Megan Olenek. Soloists are Lydia Filosi, color guard Quinn Catalino, trombone Simon Kushu, English horn. The band is led by junior drum major Ayush Shah, assistant drum major Aiden Kiesler, and drum major William McKeever. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's make some noise for those guys. The marching band staff are percussion tech and music arranger Adam P-Fan Festeel, percussion tech Michael Canner, assistant director for color guard Jacqueline Stewart, assistant director for music and marching Kevin Hoagland, assistant director Felicia Hebenstreet, and band director Chris Bygot.
Oh man, I'm feeling big energy tonight.
Imagine a world of peace, without materialism, without borders, separating nations. A world with all the people living for today, living life in peace and sharing all the world. Of course, we can't imagine a world of peace without a world of conflict. Beginning in harmony, our Warfield Symphony takes us through a journey of the tragedies of war and the fight for peace. With chaos and confusion, the war breaks out while tension builds until a dramatic moment of silence falls before the peak of the battle. As the war dissipates, the voice of hope cracks through the devastation into a beautiful melody filled with hope and peace. The forces join together, breaking down the barricades as they fight against opposition, bringing us the possibility of peace. Standing united as one, the war casts a shadow of fear, but an optimistic future prevails.
Heck of an intro.
Drum major William McKeever. Is the band ready?
All right, marching band set to go. Here's the Long Orange Line. It's also USA night for the student section, and feeling that big energy getting you closer to kickoff on WBCB. right, McCaffrey's game of the night on WBCB, getting you closer to kickoff. And the long orange line, I think they got a little more for us. And of course, before kickoff, we'll honor America with the playing of the national anthem. I think that may be right now. Yep. So we'll stay here, rise, and get you closer to kickoff on WBCB.
All right, put your hands together for your Pennsbury Marching Band, the Long Orange Line.
All right, well done, and we're getting closer to kickoff on WBCB. Always great to share the performance from the Pennsbury Marching Band or the marching bands from our visiting schools. I don't see a marching band for William Tennent tonight, and but those people put in a lot of time and effort to make their performance sound as good as possible, and we thank them for their efforts, helping to add to the game day atmosphere. As we got kickoff coming your way in just a little bit, the Pennsbury Football Parents Club, they asked you to come out, support the Falcons. They're going to be back at Falcon Field on September 14th. Look for all the programs, the spirit wear. It's all on sale at the home games. And whether that's at Truman or when we get back to Falcon Field, the Pennsbury Football Parents Club helping to make portions of today's game possible here on WBCB. And the Pennsbury Falcons gather together at midfield and now come to the near sideline as the William Tennent Panthers jog on to the far sideline. And tonight's game gets closer to getting underway. Opening soon right near Pennsbury High School, Juniors Car Wash. They're at the corner of New Falls and Hood Boulevard. And that's the same Juniors Express Car Wash. It's now open in Levittown. They're going to have brand new Express Car Wash right near Pennsbury High School. And they are proud to support all Pennsbury programs. They have early bird specials. You can buy 5 car washes, get 1 free. Join their rewards club and get a $20 car wash, and you always get free vacuums. Juniors Express Car Wash, owned and operated by a Pennsbury graduate, opening soon at the corner of New Falls Road and Hood Boulevard. Visit their current location, which is at 2270 Bristol Oxford Valley Road in Levittown. They're open 7 days, from Monday through Saturday from 7 to 7. Sundays open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And they help to make portions of today's game possible on WBCB. Don't forget to watch the Coaches Roundtable show. That's every Wednesday night at 7. Video streamed live from Sandy's Beef and Ale and brought to you in part by Lower Bucks Hospital. Since 1954, Lower Bucks Hospital has supported the youth of our community, and they are an acute care hospital. Well, first-year head coach William Tennent, Colin Leach, leads his program into tonight's game. Again, falling short last week to Council Rock South, a 27-3 final.
Number 57, Chris Roush.
And for the Pennsbury Falcons, Ben, one of the things we saw last week was a lot of different guys touching the ball for Pennsbury offensively. Brensinger, Bright, Ray Vereen, Jordan Zerniak got some touches, and then there's some keeps with Nate Begley. But the Falcons need to do a better job of holding on to the football. Fumbles were a big problem last week.
Yeah, ball security is definitely going to be an issue to start the season for any team. It's one of those things that you got to, iron out and try to figure out offensively, especially for an offense like we talked about in the pregame that has so many new faces and a new quarterback, a new running back, just so many new things offensively that there's going to be a little bit of ball security. But definitely that's something that Coach Snyder was going to look into this week and be an emphasis going forward into this game for the offense.
So Tennent winning the toss there, Gus, and they'll defer to the second half. So it's going to be Falcon football first tonight in the McCaffrey's game of the night on WBCB.
It seems to be the norm nowadays to always defer to the second half. Always trying to get that advantage and try to start off with the ball in, crunch time.
Yeah, Ben, I did talk to Coach Snyder about their issues with turnovers, and he said they didn't do anything special at practice, but they kept on repping and going through those drills and making sure to just emphasize, making sure everybody does what they're supposed to do. It sounded like they did a little extra reps, but not anything special.
Yeah, I don't think Pennsbury played as bad as a game as the score shows last week. I just think those 5 fumbles that they had, really, they shot themselves in the foot last week. And I think with those extra reps of practice, it can only help. And it's week 1. Things are going to be sloppy. It's time to clean it up for week 2.
Kyle Flack tees it up for the William Tennent Panthers, and we are just about to get this one set on the WBCB Sports Network. One thing I want to let viewers know, we're migrating a lot of our content to YouTube now, and it's very easy to access all of that stuff. Tonight there are 4 games happening across the WBCB landscape with Egan, the Notre Dame Irish, Neshaminy, and Pennsbury all spotlighted. And we get this one underway as Flack gets the whistle and approaches the football. It's Zerniak back deep to receive for the Falcons, and that'll fall to the turf. It's picked up at the 5-yard line, and a return right up the gut. And some decent field position after what looked like could be a bit of an issue for the Pennsbury Falcons on the kick there, but Adams stays with it. Maybe a little better communication there between Adams and Zerniak.
Yeah, it looks like they both were going for the football there, and it didn't really seem like who was decided on who was going to get the football, but thankfully they were able to pick up the ball and find a hole and get a decent return.
And you never know. Sometimes that hesitation allows for a big play. It does put the Falcons up past the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for Pennsbury at their own 31. And it's a give up the middle. Zerniak pushes forward, and he grinds out 2 yards, 2nd and 8. And we'll see a lot of that from Pennsbury. The wing tee, ground and pound attack.
Yeah, a lot of guys in motion.
And a lot of runs between the tackles. We saw that last week against Coatesville, even though Pennsbury were down by multiple touchdowns. Later in the game, Coach Snyder still hammered away at the wing tee, stayed with the offense. They did throw the ball a couple of times in the second half, but expect them to keep it on the ground, and that play is blown up. Good job up front by the William Tennent Panthers that time. Looked like that was Troy Mangan who got in there.
Loss of 1 for Deron Adams there.
They put the ball back down at the 33, and they call it a 3rd and 8. So Falcons trying to avoid a 3-and-out on their first possession. Last week, William Tennent, they struggled. They went 3-and-out on the first 6 possessions that they had against Council Rock South, and here they try to get the Falcons off the field as Begley under center takes the snap, pitches it out. Begley that time kept it. I thought he was going to try to flip it to Zerniak on the option, but the quarterback keeps it and is smothered by the Panthers after no gain. He just gets back to the line of scrimmage, brings up 4th and 8.
Yeah, great job by Tennent there to really focus in on this first drive, and even after a good return by Pennsbury, they're able to get 2 big defensive stops on 2nd and 3rd down.
Now, it seems like an obvious kicking down, but I think Coach Snyder is going for it here as he sends the offense back out onto the field, trusting his defense, even though the football is on their own 33-yard line. Falcons going for it on 4th and 8.
This is how you start a football game.
Bagley sets him down, fakes the give, throws it to Zerniak. It's complete. Zerniak eludes one tackle, spins his way down the far sideline for a Falcon first down. They needed 8, they got 9.
That's good for a Falcon first down.
And the Falcons move it out to the 42-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, and that's an encouraging sign you want to see by your quarterback. Definitely a new quarterback and a guy you didn't know if he was going to play quarterback or running back. And for a game last week, you didn't see many passes. That's a good pass right there.
He threw it 2 times last week. 2 good throws. One was complete, one was incomplete. And great to see that growing confidence between Coach Snyder and his quarterback this season, Nate Bagley, who has him set down again. Bagley fakes the give, keeps it himself, tries to step outside, but they converge on him behind the line of scrimmage, and it's a loss of yardage. Play made by Joey Hebling. Hebling and a couple of his teammates able to get Nate Bagley to the ground. Also Ian Gibson getting credit for that stop. 2nd and 14 now for the Falcons. And with a ground and pound running attack, you can't afford too many of those negative plays. So we'll see if they can recover on this series. Bagley under center, gives to Zerniak. Zerniak has a hole. Tries to step through, but a decent open field tackle there. And again, that was Hebling.
23, Jordan Zerniak on the carry for the Falcons.
Yeah, and it looks like he was able to get back to the original line of scrimmage there.
So it brings up 3rd and 10 now for the Falcons. Getting down to the 8-minute mark of the first quarter. McCaffrey's game of the night on WBCB. Chris Ermer, Gus Barber, Ben Goldstein, MK Maher with you as we're pretty much just underway. First series of the night. And Bagley, with a hesitation, finally gives it to Zerniak. And Zerniak bounces around, pinballs off a couple of guys, and takes it up to the 48. That's still going to be shy of a first down for Pennsbury, but based on what Coach Snyder did the first time, they were looking at a 4th and 8. I got to think he's going for it here, 4th and 5 or 4th and a long 4.
Yeah, if you went for it the last time with the field position and how far away it was, I think it was like a 4th and 8 last time.
Yep.
To be at midfield and only have a 4th and 4, this feels like a no-brainer for Coach Snyder.
But they're going to talk it over. Timeout on the field. Stops the clock with 7:17 to go. Falcons making sure they get the right call with a 4th and 4 at their own 48-yard line. Don't forget, watch the Coaches Roundtable show every Wednesday night at 7. Video streamed live from Sandy's Beef and Ale. And brought to you in part by Lower Bucks Hospital since 1954. Lower Bucks Hospital supported the youth of our community, and they are also an acute care hospital. And how about Puss in Boots Tavern, the host of the Pennsbury Football Preview Show, and also helping to power Falcon football throughout the season. 942 Trenton Road in Fairless Hills, the friendliest tavern around. Daily specials 7 days a week. The Saturday they got the hot dog special. Their famous $1 hot dogs served all day on Saturdays. Wednesdays, they got comfort food. They do their Taco Tuesdays. Thursdays at the Boot, roast pork. Fridays, their seafood festival. It's a cheesesteak special on Sunday and much more at the Boot. 4th and 4 now for the Falcons. Bagley takes the snap, gives the football to Zerniak, who comes off the wing, breaks a tackle, a first down and more. He's to the 30, down to the 20, but he fumbles the football, and fortunately one of his teammates is there to recover the fumble. Wow, big play there for the Falcons. Nearly lose it at the end, but it's going to set them up with a 1st and 10 at the William Tennent 13-yard line. Whoa.
Yeah, big run there by Jordan Zerniak, hopping over a player that was on the ground, finding a hole. And anytime you get a run like that, the main worry is somebody coming from behind and trying to strip him, and that's exactly what happened. And we talked a little bit about it in the pregame about ball security, and that's a big issue for this offense. That's not a great sign, but in that kind of situation, you understand why he lost the ball.
And it's good to see his teammates get up the field and end up falling on the football. Bagley gives it to Adams. Adams bouncing off tacklers. He gets inside the 10 down to the 8, but there's a flag down.
Yeah, I think there was a holding by, I think, one of the offensive linemen.
Again, McCaffrey's game of the night on WBCB. One of 4 games today across the WBCB sports platform. Now you can catch them all on YouTube. I saw Commonwealth League and Catholic was successful against Kensington, as was Neshaminy last week. And as tonight's game is unfolding, so is the game between Neshaminy and Council Rock South. A holding call. You were right on,
Holding
Gus.
On Pennsbury.
And that will set the Falcons back. Mentioned you can't afford those negative plays. They did recover from the one play where they were looking at a 1st and 14. And the holding call was thrown up the field a little bit, so this also is going to be a 1st and 14. Well, they'll call it 1st and 15, but you get the picture. From the 18, Bagley gives it to Adams up the middle, and Adams fights for 4. And boy, he needed to fight through some heavy traffic there.
Off the left side.
That's the nature of this wing T offense. Just keep on hammering away between the tackles. Again, got a quick moment with Coach Snyder before the game, and he was saying that after the 3rd series, felt like Pennsbury started to do positive things last week against Coatesville, and sometimes those runs between the tackles can be punishing to the opposition. Handoff to Zerniak. Zerniak this time on the left side, and he's across the 10 to the 8. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, for an offense that has a lot of question marks coming into this offense, Jordan Zerniak had a couple good runs last week and has looked so far so good on this first drive. They might have found something with Jordan Zerniak in this offense.
Yeah, that was another question I asked Coach Snyder. A lot of guys touched the ball. Vereen, Bright, Adams, Zerniak. I said, did anybody win the job or really stick out? He said, no, we're still working our way through, but seeing how many touches Zerniak is getting, as again he gets the handoff, stays on his feet to the 5, pushes his way towards the end zone, and a flag comes out. The official has Zerniak stopped at the 1. And I don't know, maybe one of the Panthers got a hand into his face mask or something. We'll see what the officials have to say. Looks to be a goal-to-go situation for the Falcons. But with 4:41, there's a flag down in the McCaffrey's game of the night.
Another thing with Zerniak's runs is he's had to run through a lot of traffic, and he's getting his way through. He's strong. We saw it in baseball. He could hit the ball far. He can get himself through these defensive lines.
Kind of using that low center of gravity and refusing to go down after the first contact.
Long conversation here between the Zebras.
Yes, it is. Officials trying to figure out what's going on as a flag came out after Zerniak had his forward progress stopped at the 1. And now I think they're trying to get, it's going to be a sideline infraction on Pennsbury, which is no big deal. That is just kind of a slap on the wrist. Wait, that doesn't usually come with 5 yards.
I'm very confused. Because I feel like they wouldn't throw a flag out for sideline interference during a play. Sometimes maybe, but...
Yeah, but I thought the first infraction was just a warning, but...
Sideline warning penalty.
They have it down as a 3rd and 3. And they run the clock now. We're down to 4:27 and counting as the Falcons look to finish the job on their opening drive of the night. A handoff and penetration by the Panthers. And Gary Maluzzo, the senior linebacker, gets in there. And he blows that play up. So what looked like a promising 3rd down now looks like a much more difficult 4th and 7.
Yeah, it's such a weird situation that happened there between the call and moving the play back after the successful getting to the one. It just...
Third, fourth.
I think...
I got to see if I can get some clarification as a timeout is called. Pennsbury takes a timeout, 3:47 to go, first quarter. McCaffrey's game of the night on the WBCB Sports Network. And thanks to the Johnson Chiropractic Center, 175 South Main Street in Yardley, from elite athletes at our local schools to senior citizens, Dr. Johnson's goal is to keep you moving. He offers functional one-on-one fitness training and will increase your strength and flexibility at any age, especially senior citizens. And they also offer nutritional advice and complete chiropractic care. At the Johnson Chiropractic Center, they feature all the state-of-the-art workout equipment that you find at big facilities, but in a much more intimate and comfortable setting. For more info and a free consultation, you can call 215-321-3100. That's 215-321-3100. Dr. Rob Johnson, for over 30 years, keeping people active and healthy at 175 South Main Street in Yardley. And for complete automotive service, you can always trust the Peruzzi Auto Group for value and service on all makes and models. The Peruzzi Auto Group on Business Route 1 in Fairless Hills, where their business is you. Another fourth down for the Falcons, their third on this drive as they look to convert. Football at the 10-yard line. They fake the handoff. Bagley throws into the end zone, and it's complete for a touchdown. Bagley gets it to Aiden Parker, and the Falcons connect for the first offensive touchdown of the season. It's 6-0 with 3:39 to go. A 10-yard touchdown strike as Bagley hits Parker, and Parker does a nice job to stay in bounds and put 6 up on the scoreboard for the Falcons.
Yeah, for a team that doesn't really throw, that was a pretty good play call by Coach Snyder, getting it down inside the 5. Obviously, they were going to try to go all out on the run. So to do a little trickery, a little play action, a beautiful, beautiful pass by Bagley.
Last game, it took Pennsbury 3 quarters to throw 1 pass. Tonight, they've thrown 2, and both are successful.
The kick is up and good, so we come back up the field with the score 7-0. Pennsbury in front of William Tennent with 3:39 to go. In quarter number 1, it's the McCaffrey's game of the night on WBCB. Don't forget, if you miss any of tonight's action, read all about it in tomorrow's Trentonian. For complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at Trentonian.com, the only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. Well, how about that? A passing touchdown for the Pennsbury Falcons gives them their first TD of the season, at least on the offensive side of the football. Last week, Noah Rice took one into the end zone after an interception. We got 7-0 here. McCaffrey's game of the night, and back deep to receive is Isaiah Rosario, the junior for the Panthers. And for the Falcons, Angelo Pereira, their sophomore kicker, has it on the tee and ready to go. And the Falcon fans rise for a kickoff, up 7-0. And wow, what a beautiful night for this game, Gus.
Stunning. Not too hot, not too cold, got a nice little breeze going. This is football weather. You couldn't have asked for anything better.
A high, short kick, and if that lands, that's anybody's football. And Noah Rice is able to come up with it for the Pennsbury Falcons. A great special teams play. It's not exactly an onside kick, Ben, but I've seen a lot of high school football teams do that type of high, short kick, and if nobody gets to it, it's a free-for-all.
Yeah, Noah Rice is on it again. He had the pick 6 last week, and now he, again, another big play, and Pennsbury has the football once again.
Last week they had some special teams miscues. This time, some special teams magic.
That was nuts. That's what you want to see out of this Pennsbury team after how they started last week.
And the offense right back to work. A handoff to Zerniak up the middle. And a pretty good gain there on first down. That was Adams? Yeah, Deron Adams.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Thank you, Ben. Close. Not 23, 33. But brings up a 2nd and 4. They'll give them 6 on that play.
It's tough when both running backs' numbers both end in 3 and they're lining up right next to each other.
Well, we'll get it straight here. This is just week 2 as we get to know this Pennsbury Falcon football team. And we thank you for being with us here from Harry S. Truman High School. Big thank you to Truman for hosting these Pennsbury games, but we can't wait to get back to Falcon Field, the new turf field and all that, as Bagley drops back, and now he's going to tuck it and go. He's up to the 10, 5, and Nate Bagley into the end zone. A 23-yard rushing touchdown for the Pennsbury quarterback, and a quick strike adds to their lead. It's now 13-0 with 2:48 to go in the first quarter.
This looks like a whole different team than we saw last Friday.
Yeah, and that was just, trying to do my math. I think that was like 33 seconds between touchdowns for the Falcons.
Pretty good.
And so Eric David will hold it. And Pereira will give it a go. It's through the uprights, and we come up the field. The score 14-0 in the McCaffrey's game of the night. Next week, we go to Newtown, and the Pennsbury Falcons take on the Council Rock South Golden Hawks. Again, they're in action against Neshaminy. That game you can also see on WBCB tonight. And as we come back up the field, big thanks to DiLorenzo's Pizza, the Berg Pizza, 8919 New Falls Road in Levittown, owned and operated by third-generation family member Tyler DiLorenzo, and he uses the same recipes his great-grandparents did back in the 1940s in Trenton's famous Chambersburg section. The original Trenton tomato pie, other gourmet pizzas, it's all at DiLorenzo's, served in a safe, clean environment. Eat in or take out. DiLorenzo's, that's the spot. 215-943-2605. 215-943-2605. The other day at WBCB, Mike Warren ordered a DiLorenzo's pizza with jalapenos and sausage. I don't know if it was like a spicy, it was awesome. I mean, zesty.
I think he's ordered that before. I think the one time with me, he ordered sausage and cherry peppers. Oh, it was so good.
I mean, that's that'll wake you up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was trying to produce one of the shows. I think it was Joe Fabrizi. My mouth was burning.
And the crust is right. Everything's awesome at DiLorenzo's. We thank them for their support. Well, it looks like a penalty assessed on William Tennent must have come after the score for Pennsbury. So the Falcons able to kick off from the Panther 45.
Yeah, and if I was Pennsbury, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to pin William Tennent inside the 10 here, since they have the advantage with the field position.
I mean, maybe another opportunity
Or
to try an onside
yeah,
kick.
exactly.
And Pereira looks like he's approaching the football that way. Eric David all the way here on the near sideline. And it's another high, short kick, fair catch called for and made. Good decision that time by Maluzzo.
Fair catch by number 6, Gary Maluzzo.
But the Panthers, not with a great spot on the field, they'll start at their own 22, so they got a ways to go. 2:48 to go. First quarter, McCaffrey's game of the night. Yeah, but I recommend that jalapeno and sausage. I mean, there might not be a bad combination of toppings at DiLorenzo's. Hey, don't forget, if you missed the action on BCB, you can read about tonight's game in tomorrow's Trentonian. Always outstanding coverage, local and national. Check out the pages of the Trentonian. All right, here are the William Tennent Panthers, led by sophomore quarterback Derek Gunther from the gun. Takes the snap and gives it to his running back, but the Falcons put up a wall, and there's nothing there for Lorenzo Hurley. As I said, both quarterback and running back, both sophomores for the Panthers, and also a first-year coach in Colin Leach. So really a program that's trying to build and grow.
Yeah, that means a lot of football they're going to be playing together in the next couple of years.
And
False
some
start.
pre-snap movement.
Flag on the play.
And the flag comes flying. So talk about negative plays. Based on what William Tennent saw from Council Rock South last week, they can't afford to get behind the sticks. And we'll see if they can recover now as they're facing a 2nd and 18 with 2:05 on the first quarter clock. I mean, one of the problems was that Council Rock South had a lot of defensive penetration. And pulling it down, throwing the football. Gunther, it's complete. Out on the flat. A big hit drops Steven Cosenza. And Cosenza's hat even comes off. And although it's a completion, it's a relatively short gain. Pickup of 3, 3rd and 15. Now with 1:42 up on the clock and an opportunity for Pennsbury to try to get this Panther team off the field with a stop and maybe get some decent field position too.
Yeah, and Pennsbury possibly looking at their 3rd offensive drive in this first quarter here if they're able to get a stop and able to get the ball back before this clock ends.
Gunther rolling, throwing, and completes it. Gets it out there to Joey Hebling. A lot of two-way players for this Panther team, and we called Hebling's number on a couple of defensive stops there. He makes the catch, but it's still short of the first down by 6 yards. So that's going to bring out the punting unit for William Tennent. And a good job up front by the Pennsbury defense. The guys up front are defensive ends, Liam Davis. You got Sean Seacrest and Chris Karamis across the line. Josh Majewski, who was out there last week, has been replaced by Andrew Dale. As the guys in the defensive trenches for the Falcons. And back to receive goes Nate Begley. It's a high, short kick, end over end, that's going to come down shy of the 50 and will take a nice bounce for the Panthers. Goes across the 50-yard line and eventually is touched at the 38. And so the Falcons take over there at their own 38-yard line. 1st and 10 with 16 seconds left here in the first quarter. Falcons up 14-0. Again, thanks to Puss in Boots. We mentioned all their specials that they have. What did I miss? Cheesesteak Sundays. Oh yeah, and the Saturdays are the hot dogs at Puss in Boots, 942 Trenton Road. More info, you can visit pussinbootstavern.com. That's pussinbootstavern.com. Proud sponsors of Pennsbury Falcon football. As the Falcons get it going again, Begley sets him down, 1st and 10, fakes the handoff, and it's a quarterback keeper. Begley shakes a tackle at the 50. He's down to the 40-yard line, and they'll get him from behind at the 30. A good tackle from behind. I believe that was Lorenzo Hurley, who really had a touchdown saving tackle because Begley with some nifty moves picks up a 1st down and more. And that'll be the last play of the first quarter. It's the McCaffrey's game of the day. And the Pennsbury Falcons are on top of the William Tennent Panthers 14-0. We'll step aside and return with more on the WBCB Sports Network.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
Jammer Doors. Newtown,
All right, welcome back to Harry S. Truman High School as we overlook Henry C. Morgan Stadium. Falcons on top of William Tennent, 14-0 after one quarter.
Begley throwing in the first quarter. He had 2 passes. Both were complete for 19 throwing yards. He had a 10-yard throwing touchdown. He also had 3 rushes for 49 yards, one of those being a 23-yard rushing touchdown. Deron Adams had 3 rushes for 9 yards. And Jordan Zerniak, 6 rushes for 56 yards. And a very offensive quarter for Pennsbury.
Yeah, after that first quarter, Nate Begley looks like a good candidate for our DiLorenzo's player of the game, but we got a lot of high school football to get to as Begley sets him down. And this time, a give up the middle, a little hide the football.
Yeah,
and C.J. Weiser
fooled me. I didn't even know who it was.
C.J. Weiser, the tight end that time, picks up 5 yards. I thought it might be Zerniak, thought it was Begley. Instead, Weiser up the middle. And that'll set him up 2nd and 5 as we're just underway in the second quarter.
Dude's running in front of the field with a "We Run This Den" flag. I guess he's with the Panthers.
Obviously, he's got a pole on it.
Yeah.
A give right up the middle.
Deron Adams up the middle.
That time Adams
Tackle made
just
by
gets
number
back
2,
to the line of
LJ
scrimmage.
Morales.
And Rosales, the senior defender, making the stop. So 3rd and 5. And who knows, maybe this will be a passing down for the Falcons. They've actually waited until 4th down before they've tried the air attack, but as Ben was describing, pretty successful stats there, a touchdown pass. Begley looks around, he's got a single wing on the far side, fakes the handoff and tries to turn it upfield himself, but is only going to make it to the 25. Instead, they'll call him just shy of the 25-yard line, set it down at the 26. So Falcons looking at a 4th and 4. Right from the beginning, the opening series, we saw that Coach Snyder opting not to punt the ball, even if they're deep in their own territory. So 4th and 4, Falcons kind of obviously keeping the offense out there and going for it.
Their fourth down that they're going for.
And Begley will drop back and look to pass. Looks for C.J. Weiser, and he's got it. C.J. Weiser into the end zone for a Pennsbury Falcon touchdown. This time a 26-yard strike. The second touchdown pass of the night for Nate Begley, and a nice job by Weiser to get behind the defense and reel that one in. Just off of the fingertips, a thing of beauty right there as he catches it in stride.
Yeah, and ground and pound is this offense's motto, but right now they're looking, anytime they pass the ball, they're having success with it right now, and that's definitely what you want to see from an offense that everybody thinks is just one-dimensional, but when they try to go two-dimensional, they're going to be able to be successful.
Begley throws is also, he's looked really confident just lobbing these balls up to his receivers. He's 3 for 3. He has 45 throwing yards now.
Pereira splits the uprights, so we come back up the field. The score 21-0. The Falcons on top of the William Tennent Panthers. McCaffrey's game of the day brought to you by Kramer's Bakery in Yardley, baking things great since 1946. Homemade baked goods made fresh daily on the premises. Kramer's Bakery, they feature custom cakes, dessert cakes with real fruit, cheesecakes, Danish, pastry, their own fresh donuts, muffins, and more, including fresh bread and rolls. Kramer's Bakery, they also have dessert trays, perfect for the office, great for corporate affairs, or any kind of get-together or event. At Kramer's Bakery, they got the cookie trays, much, much more. 14 East Afton Avenue in Yardley. They're open on Mondays from 9 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday, Kramer's open 7 to 7, and on Sundays, Kramer's Bakery open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And remember, everything at Kramer's is baked fresh right on the premises, and we thank them for their support of Pennsbury Falcon football. What a difference a week makes. Last week, a tough game against a very strong Coatesville Red Raider team. The other thing I was talking with Coach Snyder about was just briefly mentioning that we both think the Coatesville team Looks like they might be one of the best teams in the area. So a tough measuring stick on week 1, but a 21-0 start here tonight against the Panthers. It's another high, short kick. Fair catch called for and made by William Tennent. This time coming down with it was L.J. Rosales. He'll take it at the Panther 35, and they'll get the offense going with 9:34 to go here in the first half. Yeah, but what a start for the Falcons, and very similar to what we saw last year. We talked about how the Falcons were in the same spot. They lost a game to Coatesville, and then they really let loose on the Panthers. And so far, that's the same kind of results in this one. As Gunther from the gun, a running back on his right side. And the give goes to Hurley. And Lorenzo Hurley squirts his way up to the 41-yard line. Nice first down pickup that time by William Tennent.
Yeah, and just like to touch on what you spoke of, Chris, Coatesville, they're definitely going to be fighting for a district title this year, without a doubt. Their defense is just so good talent-wise. And you saw last week, this Pennsbury team, nobody wants to lose, but you could see they weren't that down on themselves because they know that Coatesville team is just really good.
The other guy who was impressive was that Buggy Ortega, their sophomore quarterback, who's the son of the Coatesville quarterback, as that play goes nowhere there for the Pennsbury Falcons. Liam Davis.
Great tackle by Liam Davis on the play.
That's a 2-yard loss. And the Panthers looking at a 3rd and 8 as we get down to the 8.5-minute mark of the first half.
Last year's score between Pennsbury and William Tennent. Pennsbury won 35-0 on Friday, September 2nd.
Wow, that's almost to the year to the day. 35-0?
35-0.
We're working our way there, Chris.
So Falcons trying to get after it here and make a defensive stop. Gunther dropping back. The pocket collapses around him, and he is sacked. In there is Ben Primich.
Number 58, Ben Primich.
A big loss on the play as inside linebacker Ben Primich gets to the quarterback, and the Panthers again going to have to kick it away. Chance for some more first half points possibly for Pennsbury. And the way they've been moving the football, they've been ripping off positive gains, big chunks of yardage. I don't know, I guess on one hand that's the case, and they've been forced into a lot of fourth downs. So the Panther defense has been pretty good, but then in those clutch moments, Falcons have come up with some big plays. Yeah, that is all the way down. Lands at the 25. Takes a Panther bounce down inside the 20. Talk about flipping the field.
It's
Nice
almost
job.
a 60-yard punt there.
Stephen Cosenza.
These dudes know how to kick. 40-yard field goal last week.
Yep.
Almost around a 60-yard punt this week. Tennant's got some legs. How's their soccer team?
Probably very good.
So now the Falcons with a pretty long field to work with. 7:07 to go in the first half. I heard we may be picking up some high school soccer games later in the season, so
Yes.
typically once we get into the playoffs and such.
Ben's our soccer guy, so we're going to have to bring him along on those games.
I'm your soccer guy.
Yeah, dude, you're the only one that I know personally that goes to Union games and follows them and stuff. My weird sport is golf. I love golf, so.
That's another sport that would be fun to cover.
I would love to cover golf.
I'm not sure how we would do it. Hand off to Zerniak, and he keeps moving forward, pushing the pile, not going down, and across the 25-yard line. And that ended up being a pickup of 9.
That's good for 9 yards.
So 2nd and 1. The other thing the Falcons are doing is controlling the football and working the clock. This ground and pound attack, that clock continues to roll. And so it's It's been a first half that has been moving with a pretty good pace, in part because of the ground attack that the Falcons employ. Oh, Bagley able to get it to Zerniak. Zerniak carrying 2 tacklers down the field, refusing to go down. Back-to-back plays there where Zerniak shows his heart. And this one's a big first down all the way out to the 44-yard line. He had a guy on his back and a guy on his hip.
Yeah, and I know this offense, you're not going to be able to really find a guy like Mulba who graduated last year, but what I've seen so far between Zerniak and Bagley and how they're running this offense is in really good hands this year. And this is definitely the sign you wanted, especially after a game like last week where they were just trying to iron their offense out.
Now Bagley will drop back and look to throw. Steps up in the pocket. He's flushed, and now we'll try to get to the outside of the field, and eventually the Panthers get to him. The first guy there, Liam Gibson, kind of had him by the shoelaces and held him up. And Bagley finished off by a couple of other William Tennent defenders.
And I feel like that might be another element to this offense where Coach Snyder may want to pass it a little bit more, where quarterback Bagley, if that pocket collapses like it did just there, he can just keep it himself and try to get some yardage there. Obviously, the pocket collapsed like 5-6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he was just able to get back to the line of scrimmage. So those are the kind of offensive plays that maybe encourage you for Coach Snyder for passing more.
And those can be successful looks, even if you drop back, it's a scheduled or a planned run. This time, it's a handoff and a big hole. Zerniak with another Pennsbury first down. He kind of slipped down at the Tennent 40. But the Falcons with another first down, and now into Tennent territory as we get down to the 5-minute mark of the first half. Falcons with 1 rushing touchdown and 2 passing TDs. I didn't expect to say 2 passing TDs for the touchdown for the Falcons in the first half, Gus.
Who would have thought they would have more passing touchdowns than rushing touchdowns in the first half so far? I wouldn't. But,
not me.
But that's just one thing you'd love to see out of this offense, that they're willing to pass and they're successful with the pass.
Bagley under center. That time it's a give to Brensinger. And Brensinger has a little bit of a hole. He's across the 35 to the 34-yard line. And, we credit the running back, Zerniak, Brensinger, Deron Adams doing some good job with the football. Up front, though, those guys deserve a little bit of credit, like center Rocco May, guard Uriah Smart, Tyler Robinson on one of the tackles. The other guard, senior Chris Roush. You got C.J. Weiser on the tight end spot. And a big hit up front. That time it was Maluzzo who met the ball carrier. Gary Maluzzo
Number 20, Jaden Bright on the carry.
delivers a shot to Jaden Bright.
Good for a couple.
Wait, there's one other tackle I didn't mention. Who the heck is that? Oh, yeah, A.J. Carticello.
Yeah, you got to give these guys a shout out, especially in this kind of offense. You need your offensive linemen to really take the charge. What do they say? You only go as far as your line will take you, and especially in this offense, that means truer and truer, especially with this run game.
Yeah, we called out the defensive line earlier, and those are the offensive linemen doing it for the Falcons this season. They say you win in the trenches as Bagley drops back. He's flushed from the pocket, rolls to the near side of the field, and will throw the football out of bounds. And that, I don't know if he got that one back to the line of scrimmage. If the officials talk this over, I think that's going to be a grounding. We'll see if they also think that might meet
Yeah, there's definitely a discussion to be made, because it definitely didn't get past the line of scrimmage, but he was outside of the pocket, so.
Officials talking it over. A 4th and 1 coming up for the Falcons.
Yep,
And they will throw a flag for an intentional grounding by Nate Bagley. And Bagley, a good decision there. Get rid of the football,
Yeah.
throw it out of bounds. You just need to throw it a little bit further downfield so you make sure you get it past that
Yeah.
line of scrimmage. I mean, it seemed like he was only a couple yards short of not having the flag thrown.
Yeah, and like you said, Chris, just instead of just like kind of spiking it into the ground, if you even just put some air into it and just threw it like just out of bounds but high, like where it wasn't catchable, they wouldn't have even thought of throwing that flag. But of course, he threw it right to the ground. Your first thought is that intentional grounding?
Well, it turns out it is intentional grounding. It's a loss of 5 yards and a loss of downs. So 4th and 6 with 3:04 to go in the first half for the Pennsbury Falcons. And they've got the football on the Panther 36. And they've been going for it on 4th down. They'll do it again, but not before a timeout. Falcons take their final timeout of the first half. And with a timeout on the field, we'll let you know that today's game made possible by the Trentonian. Don't forget, if you miss any of tonight's action, you can read about it in tomorrow's Trentonian. For complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at Trentonian.com, the only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. And Ben, I can see you're over there. You want to read a spot. Ben goes down onto the field with our post-game interview.
He's itching to read
That's
this.
exactly what I wanted to do. DiLorenzo's The Berg Pizza on 8919 New Falls Road, Levittown, owned and operated by third-generation family member Tyler DiLorenzo. Tyler uses the exact same recipes that his great-grandparents did back in the 1940s in Trenton's famous Chambersburg section. Try the only original Trenton tomato pie or other gourmet pizzas, including their mustard pie, soups, fresh salads, hot sandwiches, and homemade pasta dishes, all served in a very safe, clean environment. Eat in or take out. Call 215-943-2605. Again, that's 215-943-2605.
All right, and thanks to DiLorenzo's. Last week, our player of the game was Noah Rice. And we'll have a Pennsbury player after tonight's game joining us down on the field, as on 4th down, this time they keep it on the ground and they get it across the 30-yard line for a Falcon first down. So on 4th and 6, they run it between the tackles and they pick up 7 yards. And that's a Falcon first down.
Yeah, give it some pizzazz like the PA announcer. A Falcon first down. I'll do it for you.
So now the clock down, under 3 minutes to go. Chris Ermer, Gus Barber, Ben Goldstein, and M.K. Maher here from Bristol, PA. Yeah, next week we go to Newtown. Falcons taking on Council Rock South before we're back at Falcon Field.
Oh, I can't wait.
That is on September 14th. Bagley snaps the football, rolls to the far side, throws, but a little bit too far for intended target Aiden Parker. And that time you saw kind of the Bagley's arm right there, a strong throw. Unfortunately, incomplete, stops the clock with 2:23 to go, and it's now 2nd and 10 for Pennsbury from the Panther 29.
Yeah, and that one just a little bit overthrown, but for a guy you didn't know if he was going to start at quarterback or running back this year, Bagley, he's shown some talent in that arm. Couple good touch passes for the touchdowns. That one, he had some little extra juice on it. A little overthrown, but he's shown he's got the power. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Bagley right now.
Arm talent and good decision-making as well. There's Zerniak on the counter, squirts through a hole, and he gets down to the 10-yard line. That time, a touchdown-saving tackle, as it was Steven Kazenza who just got him by the shoelaces. Otherwise, it would have been another Pennsbury score.
Just on the 11, too, so you're still able to get a first down here.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 11.
Zerniak has surpassed 100 yards today. On 10 rushes, he has 108 yards.
And that time, that counter really fooled the Panthers. A huge hole for Zerniak. And again, were it not for a shoestring tackle, would have been into the end zone. Now under the 2-minute mark, and the Panthers are going to talk it over. They take a timeout and stops the clock with 1:49 to go. And we'll let you know tonight's game brought to you by the Pennsbury Football Parents Club. Come on out, support the Falcons. Look for the program books, the spirit wear. They've got it on sale at all the home games. And Pennsbury, they'll be looking forward to coming back home to Falcon Field. And you can come back home to traditional Italian cuisine and pizza. Come back to Villa Rosa in the Edgewood Village Shopping Center in Yardley. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. A family-run restaurant that offers extraordinary Italian dishes and pizza for lunch and dinner. Great prices over there, traditional pizzas to gourmet pizza pies. And they got hot and cold subs, sandwiches, wraps, burgers, and more. It's all at Villa Rosa. Dinner entrees, including fresh seafood, specialty pasta dishes, chicken and veal dishes, plus a special kids menu. And BYOB, eat in, take out. Villa Rosa, they also cater. Villa Rosa, open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 10:30. Friday and Saturday, open till 11. They're in the Edgewood Village Shopping Center near McCaffrey's at 661 Heacock Road in Yardley. All right, the Panthers take a timeout, and now the Pennsbury Falcons with a 1st and 10 from the Tennent 11. Looked like some movement from one of the Pennsbury guys. I believe this is a false start. Yep.
I'll tell you what, Chris, last year we were able to talk a lot about a lot of these multi-sport athletes that were successful in Pennsbury. Well, I think we got a new guy to put on that list, Jordan Zerniak. He has looked fantastic today in this offense, and obviously a big part of the Pennsbury baseball team.
So you might want to check your keys. If you're missing your keys, please report.
You got your keys?
Ticket booth.
I got my, I don't know. Oh, geez, I better look.
Yeah.
Got my keys.
Found one.
Keys to the game for the Pennsbury Falcons. They would love to put another score up on the scoreboard. They're kind of knocking on the door with under 2 minutes to go.
That's a veteran transition there from
That was
Chris
just about
Erber.
to say. That was chef's kiss. You looking for your keys? Well, I got the keys of the game.
Keep it on the ground. That's been the key for the Falcons. That time Bagley fakes a handoff. Quarterback keeps it and gets about 3 yards there as they finally unpile. One of the guys there at the bottom of it was Joey Hebling. Been calling Hebling's number a few times. He always seems like he's right in the mix. Good nose for the football. So 2nd and 12, and Pennsbury needs to be aware of the clock as it's down to 1:10 to go. That time the handoff to Zerniak. He goes off right tackle, spins around, gets up to the 10-yard line. But that'll still keep the Falcons about 8 yards away from a first down.
For about 5 yards.
We
And
got an injury.
An injury timeout. So that stops the clock with 53 seconds to go. One of the William Tennent Panthers down on the field. Mentioning beautiful weather tonight. Last week it was kind of hot and humid. Didn't feel it that much. Actually, I did feel it a lot, come to think of it.
Yeah, I remember setting up and everything. You got a little sweaty and everything, but...
Oh, yeah, I can sweat. Well, the William Tennent Panthers, though, they were having some cramping issues in last week's game.
It was very hot down on that turf in Newtown where they played last week. Few injuries, lots of cramps. First injury the night here.
Good to see the injured player back up on his feet. I think that was Isaiah Rosario. Shaken up, but able to get over to the far sideline without any help. Hopefully he'll be able to return to action. 53 seconds to go here, and a 3rd and 7. And that injury kind of effectively worked as a timeout for the Falcons, as now they wind the clock and we're down to 47 and counting. But able to talk it over and call a play here for this 3rd and 7 situation. And on a delay, they give up the gut. That time to Adams. Adams pushing maybe to the 5.
Yeah, down to 25 seconds though. Pennsbury doesn't have a timeout, so if they're going to try to run a play here, they're going to have to do it very quickly.
And on 4th down, it looks like another injury timeout. This time that was Maluzzo who was shaken up only for a moment, but
this is going to help Pennsbury.
Yeah, it stops the clock. 16 seconds remaining, and the Falcons are going to try a field goal. Angelo Pereira out to look to add 3 for Pennsbury, and he'll kick it from the 10. So this is a 20-yard attempt for the Pennsbury sophomore.
You love yourself some kicking, Chris. Here you go.
Yes, I do. He'll kick out of the hold of Eric David. And now timeout taken by the Panthers.
You know, they're trying to take kicking out of the game. We got to put more kicking back into the game.
Well, I love it at the high school level because you don't always see kickers that are especially successful, and there's a lot that goes into the long snap, the hold, all of those elements that people don't typically think about.
Everything's got to be perfect if you want an attempt at a kick.
Absolutely, and then up front you got to make sure that you don't get any penetration and all that stuff. So there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot can go wrong. So I think coaches typically opt to say, we want to keep the offense out there, and but here, 8 seconds left. You're at the end of the half.
I always wanted to be a kicker.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't do it though because I look like an offensive lineman.
Well, who was that one guy? Every now and then, there's I think Penn State had a kicker who wore number 68.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Big guy. Yeah, I think it was 98 or something like that.
All right, here is Pereira out of David's hold. The kick is up and through the uprights. It's good. The Falcons add to their lead. It's now 24-0 after a 20-yard field goal, as Angelo Pereira makes it 24-0 in the McCaffrey's game of the night. So the Falcons now with a rushing TD, 2 passing touchdowns, and a field goal. And again, that score comes with just 3 seconds before halftime. Tonight's game on WBCB made possible by Jammer Doors and Windows. It's time to view the world through Jammer Doors and Windows, a family-owned and operated business, a local business. And they do garage doors, entry doors, patio doors, storm doors, and windows. And they feature Raynor garage doors, crafted for dependable, long-lasting service. Jammer Doors and Windows, they do their own work and installation. They don't use subcontractors, and that saves you money. Avoid the big box stores and save with Jammer Doors and Windows. Visit their showroom, 2850 Brunswick Pike in Business Route 1, Lawrenceville, and their Yardley showroom is open by appointment. Call 215-493-7709. That's 215-493-7709. All right, Pereira, who just split the uprights with a field goal, now ready to kick off. And they've been doing these high, short kicks. One of them resulted in a Pennsbury takeaway. And now the Panthers, they are kind of wise to the Falcon tactics. And Steven Kazenza makes a fair catch.
Fair catch by Steven Kazenza.
And so with that fair catch, still 3 seconds left up on the scoreboard. So the Panthers got to come out and snap the football once.
They deferred on the coin toss, so you think they just take a knee here and pick it back up in the second half?
Probably. I mean, there's some wisdom to that. My daughter goes to Ben Salem, and they had a week 1 heartbreaker. It was a 0-0 game, and 3 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter, and they got a flea flicker touchdown, a double pass on them.
No.
And they lost 6-0. We'll see if the Panthers try some wacky gadget stuff. Nope, just a handoff up the middle, and Brem Primich is there to knock down Lorenzo Hurley and bring us to the end of the first half. 24-0, Pennsbury on top of William Tennent in the McCaffrey's game of the night. We'll step aside and return with halftime stats. We'll take a look back at first half scoring and get you ready for second half action. That's coming up in just a moment here on the WBCB Sports Network.
From Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley and everywhere in between. For 150 years, Penn Community Bank has been a part of your neighborhood. Helping businesses start, supporting families as they grow, and staying connected to the people and places that make this region special. It's who we are and where we're from. Penn Community Bank. Here we are, and here we grow.
One of the top producing real estate groups in the Yardley-Makefield area is the Kim Rock Group. Kim lives in the Yardley area and knows its real estate market. The Kim Rock Group is the #1 team at Keller Williams Langhorne office, which is also the #1 office in Bucks County. Over a decade of experience in selling and investing in local real estate makes Kim the perfect choice to list your home. Licensed in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey, the Kim Rock Group has you covered for all of your real estate needs. For more information, visit thekimrockgroup.com. That's thekimrockgroup.com. McCaffrey's Food Markets, exceptional every day. Family owned and operated for over 40 years, McCaffrey's is part of your community and a very proud supporter of our local high schools. For true value on the freshest meats and produce to their own prepared food department, to everyday savings on your necessary items, McCaffrey's is exceptional every day. And it's in your neighborhood in the Edgewood Village Shopping Center, 635 Heacock Road, Yardley. The Villages of Newtown at 2890 South Eagle Road, and also in Bluebell, Princeton, West Windsor, and the best of McCaffrey's in Doylestown.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
From Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley and everywhere in between. For 150 years, Penn Community Bank has been a part of your neighborhood. Helping businesses start, supporting families as they grow, and staying connected to the people and places that make this region special. It's who we are and where we're from. Penn Community Bank. Here we are, and here we grow.
Football is all about being fast and in control, which is also the idea behind CFO, cash flow options from PNC. CFO helps your business accelerate receivables so you can put incoming cash to work faster. And CFO gives you better control over who gets paid when, more speed and control. That's an achievement. Visit any PNC branch or pnc.com/CFO. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you.
PNC Financial Services Group Incorporated. All rights reserved. PNC Bank, National Association member, FDIC.
Hello, my name is Marla Lipkin, and I am a community member, a mother, and the president of Pennsbury Educational Support Professionals Association, also known as PESPA. We are the clerical staff, paraprofessionals, bus drivers, custodians, IT staff, transportation workers, security, and maintenance personnel who make up PESPA. We strive every day to provide the students of Pennsbury schools with exceptional care, safety, and support in their learning environments. We do this by applying our professional training within the classrooms and within our schools. 86% of PESPA members live in this district, and our children and grandchildren attend Pennsbury schools. For you see, Pennsbury School District is more than the place we work, it is our home. If you'd like to learn more about Pennsbury's support staff, visit our website, www.pennsburystudentcare.org. Pennsbury Educational Support Professionals, making your children our priority.
In football, it's halftime, and the Falcons are on top of the William Tennent Panthers 24-0. And we'll take a look at first half scoring. Pennsbury getting on the scoreboard right away, their opening drive, and an interesting opening drive, kind of characteristic of the first half, where the Falcons were forced into a couple of fourth downs, and then they end up converting those fourth downs, continued the drive. It was a long, extended drive that ended with a Falcon touchdown, a 2-yard touchdown strike as Nate Bagley hit Aiden Parker from 10 yards out, and Parker does a nice job staying inbounds. Falcons on the scoreboard first with 3:39 to go in the first quarter. Extra point is good, 7-0. We come back up the field, but that is dominating the clock. You know, you get down all the way, you possess the ball all the way down to the 3:39 mark, and then you deposit it in the end zone. That kind of set the tone tonight for the Falcons.
Yeah, and it's just for a team, like we said, like last week, not the great start for what it looks like, but first half-wise here, it's just been fantastic.
Yeah, and they kept it going, Ben. A 23-yard touchdown run from Nate Begley. He scores with 2:48 to go in the first quarter, and that was a quick turnaround. I think I said that was like 33 seconds, right, between those two scores. Extra point good, back up the field, 14-0 Pennsbury. And what was impressive with that, Begley's vision. You know, he just has the ability to go into a second or third gear, and a couple of guys kind of reaching for him, but he gets past the defense and into the end zone.
For a rookie quarterback, Nate Begley has looked like he's been at quarterback for years with how he's been playing tonight. He's 3 for 5 with 45 passing yards. He has 2 throwing touchdowns, 1 26-yarder, 1 10-yarder. He's been really stinking good today.
And the Falcons didn't stop with those 2 scores. Took them a little bit longer. 9:34 to go second quarter. They added another one from 26 yards out. And C.J. Weiser gets behind the Panther defense, and Nate Begley hits him in stride for another passing touchdown for this ground and pound Pennsbury attack. Extra point good, 21-0 as we come up the field after that score. But that's kind of Galen Snyder's MO. He does the ground and pound. The defense that he's facing cheats just a little bit, or he sees something where there's a matchup that he can take advantage of, and that's when he's going to spring that pass. And, right, worked to perfection.
Yeah, absolutely. Each one of them, you had the nice touchdown in the corner of the end zone on the one end. Then you had the nice little lob touchdown to the tight end in the other end zone. Just a fantastic, like we said, for a team who is known for not passing the ball, every passing play they've had, even if it's completed or if it's broken down, it hasn't looked that bad. And
he's gone for a few passes. And I wrote my preview article on WBCB.com earlier today that Council Rock South's quarterback last week against William Tennent had a lot of success. He was 12 for 14, 133 yards. He had 2 passing touchdowns. I wrote, could Snyder start utilizing Begley's arm more in week 2 after seeing Chase Ennis' success? And he is.
I think Coach Snyder must have seen that right up.
Maybe.
Well, they have been throwing the football and doing it effectively in the first half. So they get those 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground, and then late in the first half, they cap off the second quarter with a field goal off the foot of Angelo Pereira. The sophomore hits it from 20 yards out, and I get my wish to see a little bit of the kicking game tonight. And I thought it was going to be the Tennent kicker who was able to hit a 40-yarder, Kyle Flack, last week in their loss to Council Rock South. Instead, it's Pennsbury's kicker, and he did a nice job, a good job. We talked about how everything has to go right. You got to give credit to Pereira, but also to Eric David, and I got to figure out who's the long snapper on this Pennsbury team.
We'll look.
Yeah, maybe Ben, that'll be your assignment in the second half. Gotcha. But great job by that whole crew that helped to get it placed down and add 3 more for Pennsbury. So 24-0 at the half. Very similar to where we were last year. It was a final 35-0 when Pennsbury beat William Tennent at William Tennent. And here it's a home game for Pennsbury. We're at halftime, and we'll step aside, take care of a couple of messages, get you closer to the second half, and maybe we'll also go to Ben for that stat package, which he already got to in our scoreboard section.
I did a little sneak peek.
You got some for us, though? All right, we'll get to that first half stats coming up in just a moment on WBCB.
Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances such as custom-fit joints position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more. Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances such as custom-fit joints position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more. Puss and Boots Tavern on Trenton Road in Fairless Hills is better than ever. Sit down, relax on their outdoor patio, and try their award-winning burgers and sandwiches. Visit their takeout store for all of your favorite takeout. And it's not just food. You can also stock up on beers, soda, cigars, snacks, and a variety of convenience items. Call 215-295-8236 to place your order or have them host your next party or affair. Get out and enjoy the summer weather today at Puss and Boots Tavern. Strong starts are essential on the field and in life. That's why PNC created the Grow Up Great program, a $350 million multi-year bilingual initiative that began in 2004 to help prepare children from birth to age 5 for success in school and life. PNC is helping children in our community more than ever grow up great. Learn more at pncgrowupgreat.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, member FDIC. Hi, Merrill Reese remind you to
All right, welcome back. Pennsbury Falcon football on WBCB, 24-0 at halftime. And Ben Goldstein has our first half stats.
And we'll start with the quarterbacks. Nate Bagley. Nate Bagley today, he had 5 passes, which is unusual for the ground and pound offense, but they're changing it up today. He went 3 for 5, 45 passing yards. He had 2 throwing touchdowns, a 26-yarder and a 10-yarder. Derek Gunther on the other side for Tennent. He was 2 for 2 today with 13 passing yards, and he was sacked once. Bagley rushing. He had 5 rushes, good for 47 yards. One of those a 23-yard rushing touchdown. Deron Adams, 4 rushes for 9 yards. Jordan Zerniak, 11 rushes for 113 yards. He's had a big day. C.J. Weiser, the tight end, got a touch. 1 rush, good for 5 yards. Jordan Brentsinger got a touch for 6 yards. And Jaden Bright has had 3 rushes for 11 yards. And then for William Tennant, Lorenzo Hurley, he has 4 rushes for 4 yards.
Yes, C.J. Weiser, not only a 5-yard rush, but also the touchdown connection with Nate Bagley, which has been awesome here to see the Falcons go to the air in week 2. And who knows what that will mean as we move forward throughout this high school football season. But it seems to build confidence between Bagley and his coach, and opens up this offense in a way that is going to make it more dynamic. And looking forward to seeing what the Falcons have for us in the second half, and then going throughout the rest of this season. Mentioned next week, it's Council Rock South in Newtown. That will wrap up the pre-league part of the season before the Falcons get into SOL national play. After Council Rock South, it's all the Central Bucks teams. They go CB West, CB South, and CB East. And then after that gauntlet, it's Penn Ridge and North Penn. And then they wrap up the regular season with a game at Abington. And then they will host Neshaminy at the Falcon Field with the turf and all the new stands and the press box. And that's going to be awesome to be back there and host that traditional rivalry game at Pennsbury High School. Again, Pennsbury, Neshaminy, that's October 27th to wrap up the regular season, but a lot of great action to get to, and all of them will be on WBCB. The way the schedule falls, we're going to be able to carry all the games for you and bring you the coverage throughout this season.
Hopefully not only we have Pennsbury and Neshaminy October 27th, maybe we'll have a Phillies World Series Game 1 on October 27th.
Why not us?
Happened last year.
The Fightins.
The Fightins.
And WBCB, your spot on the radio dial for Phillies baseball. Phillies and the Brewers getting a big series underway tonight.
Good pitching matchup tonight, Wheeler and Peralta.
the Brewers. Who else we got coming up for the Phillies?
It's the Brewers, and then we go to San Diego.
Right.
And then I blank on the rest of the schedule.
They come back home, though. I think they got the Marlins for a series. They see the Pittsburgh Pirates.
They got the Mets, the Marlins,
they play
and
the Braves. They play the Braves, and that's a lot this month.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they can do what they need to do to get into the postseason. And, yeah, why not? A World Series game on October 27th. It'll be awesome. An embarrassment of riches. Pennsbury and Neshaminy, the Phillies. We'll have Eagles football that weekend. I can't wait till we get to the NFL. This wait.
Less than a week away till the very first game. Detroit Lions versus Kansas City Thursday night.
And I think the game, there's an Eagles game on Thursday night, and that happens to be a night that's full of high school football.
Because the Jewish holiday falls on the Friday.
We got Pennsbury and Neshaminy in action that night. So somehow we're going to have to.
That's first night of Falcon Field as well.
So we'll be enjoying high school football while also keeping an eye on what's going on with the Eagles. We got it's all about the birds, the Falcons, the Eagles.
Speaking of the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber just hit a leadoff home run, 1-0 Phils.
Nice. Hey, want to thank our sponsors, including Charcoal BYOB. If you're looking for creative dishes with beautiful river views in a down-to-earth American cafe, visit Charcoal BYOB, overlooking the Delaware in Yardley. Their food, locally sourced, seasonally inspired. Bring a bottle of your favorite wine and enjoy exceptional cuisine created by executive chef brothers Mark and Eric Plesha. Charcoal open Wednesday through Sunday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For more info and for their menu, you can check out charcoalbyob.com. That's Charcoal BYOB on River Road overlooking the Delaware in Yardley. And the Falcons are warmed up, ready to go. But it is going to be the Panthers to get the football first in the second half. They won the toss and deferred to the second half, so the Falcons will kick. And before we get there, thanks to Yardley Family Haircutters, a full-service family barbershop, kids cuts, hair coloring, and shaves. And Dave Wells and his family, they've been taking care of the community for over 50 years, keeping people looking good. Yardley Family Haircutters, a town institution. Call for an appointment at 215-321-6900. That's 215-321-6900. Yardley Family Haircutters. Yeah, my wife's been cutting my hair since the pandemic, and I think it might be time to go over and see David Wells. Get a real haircut.
I've had one regular haircut since the pandemic. I grew my hair. You remember I had my hair real long.
Yeah.
Got the one haircut, and now it seems like I'm growing it out again.
Yeah, my wife just busts out the clippers, but results sometimes are
may vary.
Not great.
Yeah.
So I got to go to Yardley Family Haircutters. Again, a town institution and proud sponsors of Pennsbury Falcon football for many years. And great to have them back this season. And we will get back to action in just a bit. Pereira out to kick it away. And now it seems like, Panthers making a bit of an adjustment. They're going to have everybody up. Not sending anybody deep because the Falcons haven't been kicking it deep. So we'll see where they actually
watch. This will be the first time they kick it deep.
Oh, it's still going to happen.
Wouldn't be a bad idea, right?
No. Nobody's back there. If you could try to get that ball to land there, you may either get the ball back or just put William Tennent in a terrible field position.
Hebling is one of the deep guys. Steven Cosenza is in the spot where they kind of have been kicking it too.
Looks like they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And Angelo Pereira gets the whistle, and we're underway in the second half. It is a high short kick returned by Cosenza, and he takes a hard hit after a short return, but results in good field position for the Panthers. They've got it up near midfield, 1st and 10 on their first possession of the second half in the McCaffrey's game of the night. And again, this William Tennent offense run by sophomore QB Derek Gunther. And they've had him lined up in this gun formation, a running back on his right side this time, calls for it, movement up front. Looked like the Falcons came across. I think that might be on Chris Karamis.
You are correct.
And offsides is the call. So a 1st and 10 becomes a 1st and 5, and they move the football over the 50 up to the Falcon 46.
1st and 10, William Tennent.
Gunther calls for it. High snap, he pulls it down, gives the football to Hurley, and Hurley tackled after a yard. Up to the 45 are the Panthers. Looked like Noah Rice in on that stop.
1st and 5, tackled by Falcon Andrew Dale.
Oh, and the other guy who came in to replace Andrew Dale making the play. He's in tonight for Majewski. Stops him after a yard gain.
Ooh.
Hurley nearly stopped in the backfield. Liam Davis had him there momentarily, and he held up the play just enough.
Andrew Dale again on the tackle.
And then Dale comes in to clean it up, and another
Ball carried by Lorenzo
yard
Hurley.
gained by the Panthers brings up 3rd and 3.
Lorenzo Hurley, it looks like he's had 1 yard gain every single rush. He has 6 rushes and 6 yards.
Stats back it up.
Perfectly in line.
And that stingy defensive line of the Pennsbury Falcons responsible, I think, for
Let's bring the noise.
some ground stops and
Come on, you can make more noise than
certainly
that.
some good play between the tackles. We'll see what the Panthers opt to do on 3rd and 3. Pressure up the middle from the Falcons. And Gunther hit as he throws, and the ball knocked down incomplete. Eric David nearly picked it off. The ball was well short of the intended target, but it looked like a couple of Falcons were trying to make a play on the ball. Incompletion stops the clock with 10:21 to go and brings up 4th and 3.
Yeah, plenty of Falcons around that ball. Kind of looked like they may have hurt each other as 2 guys went up for the pick and, bumped into each other, hit each other, something like that, and the ball hits the ground. But either way, 4th down, and great situation here for this defense.
And on that play, an impossible situation for Gunther because he had pressure right in his face, couldn't step into that throw. And again, looks like the Falcons, this time they will bring a little bit more pressure. The ball thrown complete to Rosales, and Rosales up to the 40-yard line, and the William Tennent Panthers pick up a 1st down. I believe that is William Tennant's first down tonight. Walker Murray brings down Rosales. But William Tennant, their most successful drive so far in this McCaffrey's game of the night. They started with good field position, and now they've moved the football across the Pennsbury 40. Hurley with running room to the outside, and he bursts forward across the 35 down to the 31-yard line. An 8-yard gain on 1st down for Lorenzo Hurley. Walker Murray in there to stop him for the Falcons.
Yeah, and after a sluggish first half for this William Tennent offense, the drive you definitely want to see over there.
2nd and 2, and although they've had some positive stuff, they need to stay consistent. The give to Hurley on a little delay up the middle.
Gotta be close for the 1st down there.
Dale was there for the Falcons. It looks like they're going to mark him a yard short.
Ooh.
So they need to get it up to the 29. So Dale was there, also Sechrist there for the Falcons.
It's a flag.
Now,
Going again.
Oh, the guy's running around with the flag again. It's their den. I thought you meant there was a flag on the field,
No,
man.
no.
3rd and 1 for the Panthers, and a quarterback sneak.
Ooh.
Wow, looked like there might have been a an early start from one of those Panthers in the backfield, but officials say, nah, look good to them. And it's another William Tennent first down. Now across the 30, down to the Pennsbury Falcon 28-yard line. As we get down under the 8.5-minute mark, third quarter action. Falcons all over the Panthers in the first quarter, 24-0 our score. But William Tennent coming out motivated here in the third quarter. Gunther from the gun, pulls it down, gives to Hurley up the middle, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a yard. Chris Karamis in there for Pennsbury. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for William Tennent. Feeling a little fall chill in the air. I think we got an overnight low dropping down to like 58 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait till next week when we're back in the 90s.
Yeah, heat wave coming next week.
Enjoy while it's here.
Meteorologist Ben Goldstein with us.
You know it.
They pull down the snap. Ooh. Give to Hurley. Hurley to the outside, across the 25, and then a flag comes out. Another flag gets thrown. Looked like one of those flags might have been on William Tennent as one of their players started to react to the first flag that came out, and I'm not sure if maybe another one was thrown on something that was said or done by one of the Pennsbury guys down there.
Some extracurricular activities over there on that William Tennent sideline.
Based on those two flags, I'm going to think that these may be offsetting personal fouls. Again, officials talking things over. 7:13 on the third quarter clock. McCaffrey's game of the night on WBCB. McCaffrey's Food Markets, exceptional every day. All right, official comes over and lets us know what's up. Dead ball foul. Personal foul on Tennent. And that's the only one they're going to call. So that's a costly penalty on the Panthers, putting together a successful drive, and then as their running back went out of bounds over there, there was some extra physical stuff, and the officials said it was too much.
Yeah, so what is this, like third down and like 19?
They're giving it second down, or 2nd and 20?
2nd and 20, wow.
Yeah, I think it is more like 19, but either way.
20 looks like the better number.
Even.
Yeah.
Either way, a big
Brian
setback
Dawkins
for William Tennent now as the clock now winds again down to 6:48 and counting here in the third quarter. Yeah, tough to recover from those negative plays. Let's see if the Panthers can get something going. And it's going to be Gunther throwing, pressure right up the middle. And he is spilled as he throws. Sean Seacrest was there with the pressure. And that, that's a number of times tonight where Gunther is trying to throw the football and he's got somebody hitting him right in the chest, or just unable to step up into the throw because somebody is coming right after him.
Now they've got 3rd and 18 up on the scoreboard, so they just gained 2 yards from an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
I guess they originally had about 18 and they put 20 up there as a guess.
See, I always thought it was 3rd and 19 anyway, so we just split the difference, keep it at 3rd and 19.
They heard us talking about it.
6:32 on the clock, and now the officials talking things over. Right, there's no flag down.
No, I don't see one. Oh, it's time to do the Falcon flat.
Now they
flag.
Back to it, wind the clock.
We're back when we're doing the Falcon flat.
All right, so now 4th and 18. Gunther, high snap, pulls it down, throws complete out to the flat, and forced out of bounds is Joey Hebling. A good play, but it's going to come up well short of the needed yardage. I mean, so I guess not necessarily a good play in that regard, but a positive play for the Panthers, a completion for their quarterback to build up that confidence and stuff, but it ends up being a turnover on down.
Yeah, and if you think about it, you're really in like a dead zone right here. Kind of too short of field to punt it, too long to kick it. So maybe just try to go for it, get as many yards as you can, and just put Pennsbury in worse field position.
And the other thinking there, you get your athlete with the football in space and see if he could make something happen, but the Falcons converge on him.
Yeah, and heck, who knows? Maybe he could break one and he'll get a first down. But
good pursuit to the football by the orange and black to get this one back, and 1st and 10. It's a handoff, and that's Deron Adams who squirts through, and he's going to go all the way into the end zone for another Pennsbury Falcon touchdown. That makes it 30-0 with 6:04 to go. And ends up being a 74-yard touchdown strike. Longest touchdown of the night for Pennsbury. And that's what you can get with that wing tee. You know, if you can get somebody through that scrum, you know, sometimes there's there's not defenders that are there with an angle. And impressive there also, Adams, once he turned on the speed, I don't think anybody was like within 10 yards of him when he went across the goal line.
No, he put those afterburners on and he was gone. That was breakaway speed at its best.
So with 6:04 remaining in the third quarter, the extra point is up and good. So 31-0 is the score.
Last year we got 35-0 Pennsbury against these two teams. I don't know how we're going to get 35 unless we get a field goal and a safety, but or no, it'd be a field goal. It's just impossible.
It's 2 safeties, Ben.
Two safeties. Brain fart.
So 6:04 to go, and kind of a deflating possession. Last time the Panthers had it, they moved the football, positive stuff with first downs, but a personal foul was their undoing.
Nice shot, Pennsbury cheerleaders.
And they'll get the football back, 6:04 remaining. So Adams with a touchdown, 2 throwing TDs from Nate Begley, and also a rushing TD from Begley. So I still think he's in the top spot for our DiLorenzo's player of the game, but Ben will go down there and
make the final decision.
Yeah, figure out who he wants to talk to, and we'll have our post-game interview after we're all done with our Pennsbury-William Tennent matchup. Pereira this time with a little bit of a deeper kick, comes down at the 21-yard line. And a return up the middle by Liam Gibson. The senior gives the Panthers some pretty good field position and a good tough return up to the 42. 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
They ran through a few tackles there. Nice moves. Very fast.
All right, ladies and gents, it's that time for the 50-50. Get your 50-50 tickets out.
Anyone do the 50-50?
I did not do the 50-50.
I never do.
But I have my keys, so that's good.
At least you have your keys.
And I didn't leave the lights on in my car. But yeah, I'm not going to win any money for that stuff. Don't forget you missed the action on BCB. Read about it in the Trentonian. A give up the gut. And Isaiah Rosario is bounced around before being brought down.
Tackle made by a host of Pennsbury defenders.
And I believe that was Liam Davis who eventually got to him.
50 number is 282.
Yeah, on that play, Liam Davis, I think, tackled the ball carrier, but there were a few other defenders who just took a shot. Still some good physical play by this Pennsbury Falcon team as they look to finish strong tonight, 31-0 on the scoreboard. Oh, hey, can you see if you can find us a Neshaminy Council Rock South score? That's another game on the WBCB Sports Network. Catch it on YouTube. Just search WBCB Sports. Gunther pulls it down, throws, it's complete, and then the pass is dropped. Looked like it was complete into the arms of A.J. Awan.
That was a weird one. He like caught it and then
Almost looked like he was flipping it to his teammate. I thought I saw like a pitching motion. Council Rock South all over Neshaminy in that game, 21-0.
8 minutes left in the third, so plenty of ball game left, but
makes next week's matchup an interesting measuring stick game.
Pennsbury plays Council Rock South next week.
Got to help out the scouting.
So 3rd and 9 for the Panthers. Gunther throws the football and completes the pass. A big gain as Steven Cosenza streaks down the field and goes out of bounds just shy of the goal line. He's out at the 2. Darius Simmons over there to usher Cosenza out of bounds. But the Panthers with some positive plays in this third quarter, and that's their biggest.
Yeah, and they're going quick here.
Goal to go. Quarterback sneak, and Liam Davis ends up getting in there, wrapping Gunther up and bringing him down. I think that was a loss of a yard. We get down under the 4.5-minute mark. You know, this would be a huge accomplishment for William Tennent. Didn't have success last week against Council Rock South. They did get a field goal up on the scoreboard, but they're looking for their first touchdown of this high school football season. And meanwhile, the Falcons looking for that goal line stand. They want to deny them that pleasure right now. Gunther with Hurley on his right side. Takes the shotgun snap, pulls it down, looks into the end zone, pressured, throws to the corner, and it's incomplete. Noah Rice was there defensively. It was Steven Cosenza who was the intended receiver, but that incompletion will stop the clock with 3:46 to go and bring up goal to go, third and goal. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And on second down, you got Gunther dropping back to throw.
3rd and 2.
And they're going to actually line up Hurley. I was going to say Lorenzo Hurley. If you get him outside, maybe an opportunity there. But running back on his left, Gunther takes the snap, throws into the corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Wow.
Incomplete.
Dude came out of nowhere to get that ball.
Came from
Wow,
the
for a
shadows.
moment, I thought that was a Panther touchdown.
It looked like he overthrew his intended receiver, and then that dude came out of nowhere and made an attempt to grab the ball.
I thought he might have been able to reel it in, but incompletion, and now 4th and 2 for the Panthers. And they may be taking a timeout.
Yep.
So Panthers going to talk it over with 3:39 to go, third quarter in the McCaffrey's game of the night on the WBCB Sports Network. Falcons 31, William Tennent nothing in the Pennsbury Football Parents Club. They asked you to come out and support the Falcons. Look for the program books, the spirit wear. It's at sale with all their home games, and they hope you enjoyed tonight's game. We thank them for all the support that they give us to help make the games possible here on WBCB. And more than securing your home or business, BAI Security in Yardley, they now offer medical alerts, trip or fall, or homebound. These are the same medical alerts you see advertised on TV, but now available from BAI Security and monitored locally 24/7 by BAI Security. They also offer fire extinguishers, sales, maintenance, inspection of fire extinguishers For complete security, wireless systems, and more, BAI Security in Lower Bucks. Call 215-493-1414. All right, 4th and goal for the Panthers from the 3, and it's a direct snap as Cosenza is tripped up just shy of the goal line. And Eric David comes away with the football. I'm not sure if that was a fumble, but either way, Pennsbury will take over, whether it's on a turnover or a turnover on downs. And the Falcon fans cheer the goal line effort from the defense.
Yeah, what an excellent job there by that defense. William Tennent able to get it all the way down to like the 1 to 2 yard line.
1 yard line.
Go quickly with it, trying to get that defense a little tired. And just a fantastic job for them to go 4 straight plays and not letting them get a yard.
They keep that shutout going for the moment. 3:31 to go now in the third quarter, and the Falcons take over at their own 2. So they got 98 yards to go as Bagley sets them down. And it looks like a quarterback keeper. Bagley up. I think he gained a yard up to the 3 before he got spun back. The
Panthers wanted the safety. They're not going to get it.
Now, forward progress well outside the end zone. Matter of fact, they'll say it's a positive pickup of 2. I mean, so whether it's Bagley, Zerniak, Adams, the other key for the Falcons is even in heavy traffic, make sure the gains are positive, and they've been able to do that against the Panthers pretty consistently there. A good defensive effort by William Tennent. And the Falcons inch it up to the 5. And they're looking at a 3rd and 7 as we get down close to 2.5 remaining in the third quarter. Aiden Parker, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the first half, comes in with the play for Pennsbury. But before the play, there's an official's timeout. Official's timeout. Looks like it's something with Duron Adams. And
he's limping.
Yeah, he's shaken up. I'm not sure if that's if he just started to cramp up.
Left ankle.
Sharon Barrett will take a look as the Falcons taking a look at a 3rd and 7. From deep in their own end. Bagley under center, drops back to throw, pump fake, pulls it down, flush from the pocket to the far side, and he'll get spilled right near the line of scrimmage. Not a sack by the Panthers. I think they'll say it's a yard gain. But it brings up 4th and 5, and for the first time tonight, the Falcons will bring out the punt unit. They weren't quite this deep in their own end, but even inside their own 30-yard line, they went for it earlier in the game. Back deep to receive Trey Knoll for the Panthers. This one will be kicked from the end zone. A low spinning kick that takes a pretty good bounce for the Pennsbury Falcons and gets down to the 40-yard line. Toby Kubitsky with the kick for the Pennsbury Falcons. And he gets it down to their own 42-yard line. Panthers there with a 1st and 10 as we're under a minute to go, third quarter. McCaffrey's game of the night. McCaffrey's Food Market's exceptional every day in the Edgewood Village Shopping Center, 661 Heacock Road, and the villages of Newtown. Gunther from the gun gives to Maluzzo. Maluzzo bounces it to the outside, across the 40 to the 35 before he goes out of bounds, and then some contact over there and some late flags. I think these might be on the Falcons for a late hit out of bounds. Again, officials talking things over. We can remind you that the Pennsbury Football Parents Club asking you to come out, support the Falcons. They hope you're enjoying tonight's game. And why not? A big night for Pennsbury, 31-0. Dead ball foul, personal foul, and this one is assessed against the Pennsbury Falcons. So on the last drive the Tennent Panthers had, they had a personal foul go against them, and it really crippled their efforts. Here they get aided by 15 yards from the Falcons, and we'll see if they can take advantage. Now from just inside the 20, Gunther pulls down the snap, gives the football, and there is nothing there. Walker Murray, he smushes Liam Gibson, squashes him for a loss.
Big loss there, too, by William Tennent. I think that's going to be like a 5-yard loss, make this like a 2nd and 15.
Almost seemed like a broken play. Like the Panthers, it took a little too long for them to get that going. Just that little bit of hesitation.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been like an RPO kind of thing where the quarterback could either keep it or give it to the running back, and just looks like he read it very, very late.
It's a loss of 6.
Gunther takes the snap, but the flags fly and the play is blown dead. Maybe some pre-snap movement. I didn't see anybody get a head start, but it was a false start on the Panthers. Five seconds on the third quarter clock. And unless there's some type of defensive penalty or something weird, that already, when they wind the clock, that brings us to the end of the third quarter.
Oh, wow, okay.
31-0, the Pennsbury Falcons on top of the William Tennent Panthers. It's the McCaffrey's game of the night on the WBCB Sports Network. And we've got the fourth quarter coming your way in just a bit.
Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township.
Welcome back, and for complete automotive service, trust the Peruzzi Auto Group for value and service on all makes and models, free multi-point inspection on your vehicle with any paid service, 10% military and law enforcement discounts. The Peruzzi Auto Group. Visit a Peruzzi dealership on Business Route 1 in Fairless Hills, where their business is you. Gunther from the gun. He's got Hurley on his right. Falcons look like they're thinking about some pressure up the middle. Instead, it's a throw to the outside, and Darius Simmons there was the closest guy to the pass, but the Pennsbury defender couldn't quite get close enough to that one. It was intended for Liam Gibson. And brings up 3rd and 21. Wow, I can't wait for next week's game. Already starting to anticipate that one when you showed me the Council Rock South and the Chamonix score. And You know, I felt the optimism from the Golden Hawks on Wednesday night at the high school coaches roundtable show as Gunther drops back, looks to throw, heaves that one downfield, and it's intercepted. A tip drill INT for the Pennsbury Falcons. It's Nate Bigley with the takeaway, and he returns it up to the 20-yard line. All right, so that's got to solidify his spot.
I was just about to say, if he hasn't solidified himself as the player of the game, he did just there.
He's the quarterback who's thrown 2 touchdown passes and rushed one in, and now he adds to that an interception. You know, that ball kind of hanging up there looked like a chance for one of the Panther defenders, and this is the second week where the Falcons have gotten a tipped ball that they've been able to pick off. I think that's going to be something we see all throughout this season.
Yeah.
Where if teams throw against the Falcons, they do it at their own peril. Bagley hands off. Spinning with that one is Jaden Bright. Up across the 25 to the 27. Nice first down pickup there for Pennsbury.
Yeah, when we talked about the offense in last game and how they were trying to iron things out and really find their groove, the defense was the complete opposite. They came out fast and quick, and they looked really good last week. And so far this week, too, they've been looking great.
That time again between the tackles. Again, it's Bright. And after the play, the flags come flying.
We have some laundry.
Something said by one of the players maybe. Didn't look like a physical altercation. It is a dead ball foul, going to be a personal foul. It's going to be unsportsmanlike on the Pennsbury Falcons. So typically that is something that's said. You know, now the officials take any taunting gesture very seriously. So maybe something like that where
somebody got flexed on, you know. Nothing like getting a big run, nice physical run, and then afterward just showing off those muscles. But it's something you can't do.
Then you get called for it.
Something you can't do.
So 2nd and 17 now as we're under 11 minutes remaining. And yeah, we need a football. Finally, Joey Hebling, I don't know why Hebling had the football, but he gives it to the official.
He was just keeping it safe, you know, and making sure nobody was doing anything wrong with it.
They marked off the yardage, but they forgot to bring the football back. Bagley takes the snap. A give up the middle, and it's Duron Adams who's able to get up to the 26.
Oh, here we go.
And another whistle and another flag comes out. You know, this time there was a little bit of contact after the whistle, but it didn't seem like enough to assess a penalty, but officials seeing it differently.
Yeah, definitely seeing it differently.
So it stops the clock with 10:08 to go. I think this one might be another. And they always say that they get the guy who reacts to the contact, and the Falcons were the ones who had the extra, well, no, personal foul against William Tennent.
Huh?
Well, I think that's a good call, because I think the reason why the Pennsbury guy had an extra shove was because, I don't know, if maybe a little something extra.
No, you're definitely right there. Just, you know, those type of plays, it's very easy just to push somebody on the ground with their momentum, and William Tennent took it a little bit extra step there with throwing him on the ground, rolling him over, and giving him a little bit of extra shove there.
Yeah, I think the officials also, you know, that was well away from the ball or away from the play.
That was almost 10 yards away from the ball.
The Bagley sets him down, hands it off to Zerniak. Zerniak breaking a tackle, keeps pushing forward, but pushing a whole host of William Tennent defenders. One of the guys there for the Panthers was A.J. Awan. Alwan in last week's game against Council Rock South. He had a sack and a forced fumble, which was one of their big plays.
About 7 yards. They'll bring up a 2nd and 3.
2nd and 3, and with just over 9 minutes on the clock, opportunity for the Pennsbury Falcons to work this offense and just work the game clock. Zerniak, he had a hole and an opportunity to cut it upfield. Oh, excuse me, that was Adams, who tried to turn it upfield and just slipped a bit.
Those threes, Chris.
It's all night. I'm getting mixed up between Zerniak and Adams.
It's week 2. We're all just getting with it.
Bring up a 3rd and 1.
After the game, Ben was going to go down, talk to our DiLorenzo's player of the game, and we got Noah Rice's gift certificate, which I couldn't find. It was in my lunchbox, which I had my papers in. I don't know. I ended up tracking it down. So last week, Noah Rice with a gift certificate, and that time it looked like it was Adams who might have had the handoff, but it was Bagley who kept it, and then Nate Bagley picks up a first down of his own. And right now we are hoping to talk with Pennsbury quarterback Nate Bagley. And this drive, courtesy of Bagley's interception, the other things the Falcons have done much better this week. Last week, 5 fumbles, and we saw an early fumble. Fortunately, the Pennsbury Falcons were able to get it back. Here, Adams gets the give, squirts through a hole across the 20, and the Falcons are inside the red zone. A first down to the 16-yard line.
Ron Adams is now over 100 yards on 7 rushes. He has 102, including his 74-yard touchdown back earlier in the game.
Well, a great night rushing the football and throwing the football for this Pennsbury offense. 2 guys over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdown passes from Bagley. There they try between the tackles, and Adams rips off a 6-yard pickup.
Good for 6 yards.
Last year, Pennsbury put this William Tennent Panther team in the mercy rule. And if they can finish this drive in the end zone, it's going to be a running clock for the remainder of the second half. McCaffrey's game of the day on WBCB. Bagley again sets him down. He's got Adams and Zerniak. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Bagley across the 5, down to the 3 before he is spun down. That's enough for a goal-to-go situation. Falcons with a 1st and goal from the 4.
That's good for another Falcon first down.
And this drive checks a bunch of boxes. A clock-controlling drive late in the game. They've moved it. You know, they picked up a bunch of yardage on this drive. But the job not done yet. 1st and goal from the 4. Bagley gives to Zerniak, and Zerniak into the end zone. Another Pennsbury Falcon touchdown makes it 37-0 with 6:03 to go in the 4th quarter. So everybody joining the party. Aiden Parker with a touchdown catch. Nate Bagley with a touchdown run. C.J. Weiser catching a TD today. You had Pereira with a field goal from 20 yards out. A 76-yard run from Adams. And now Jordan Zerniak with a touchdown from 4 yards away.
Falcons are now at around 255 rushing yards tonight.
Guess you could say that's pretty good.
Yeah, you think?
And in addition to the success they've had on the ground, being able to build confidence in that passing game is going to make this Falcon attack so much more dynamic. The extra point is through the uprights, and the score 38-0. as we come back up the field in the McCaffrey's game of the night. And proud to serve our community is Brian Rogers at Yardley Pharmacy, 175 South Main Street in Yardley. Brian, a hometown community leader and pharmacist who will go out of his way to help his customers and make sure you understand everything about your medications, answer any of your questions, including insurance questions. Yardley Pharmacy, owned and operated by Brian Rogers, and no one is going to give you better service than an owner-operated business like Yardley Pharmacy. Avoid the big chains and stay local with people who are there every day and know you. We're talking about Yardley Pharmacy. They offer medical equipment too. They're at 175 South Main Street in Yardley. Open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 o'clock. Saturdays open 9 to 2, and delivery is available through Yardley Pharmacy and Supply. Great to have them on board again for another season of Pennsbury Falcon football. Thanks to Brian Rogers and his support of what we do on the WBCB Sports Network. Yardley Pharmacy, as Pereira gets the whistle and with 6:03 lifts this one up into the air. And an attempt for LJ Rosales on the return, but Rosales goes kind of east and west and doesn't move it up the field, but he does set up the Panthers with a 1st and 10. They've got it at their own 32-yard line. Again, thanks to Puss in Boots, 942 Trenton Road, always something good going on at Puss in Boots. Saturdays, they got their hot dog Saturdays. On Tuesdays, Taco Tuesdays. It's Comfort Wednesday with great meatloaf. Thursdays, they got their roast pork. Cheesesteak Sundays. And on Friday, it's the Seafood Festival. Puss in Boots. Find out more at pussinbootstavern.com. That's pussinbootstavern.com. All right, well, a timeout on the field taken by the Pennsbury Falcons. And we'll step aside and return to action in just a little bit. Falcons on top of Tennent, 38-0.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
Well, a whole new look this week for the Pennsbury Falcons. Last week, a 29-7 loss to Coatesville. Tonight, so far, shutting out the Panthers 38-0. And it's time to view the world through Jammer Doors and Windows. Get a whole new look with Jammer Doors. Family owned and operated and proud supporters of Falcon football on BCB. Gunther hands it off to Jacob Lindsay. And Lindsay doesn't get too far. Ian Park with the stop as we're under 5 minutes to go. And now a running clock here in this game. Falcons making a ton of, looks like a lot of defensive replacements and some guys who don't always get a shot to get out on the field there now with a shot at the Panthers and taking advantage of it. Gunther faked me out on that one.
Yeah, I think he faked us all out.
And he ends up picking up a 1st down. Faked out the Pennsbury defense well enough to pick up yardage up to the 45. Well, there are quite a few positives for the Panthers to take out of this second half. I mean, still disappointing that you couldn't get the ball in the end zone, but they had some big plays. They got down to the 1. A great goal line stand from the Falcons kept them out of the end zone. But compared to the first half, even that first drive of the night, and there Pennsbury getting pumped up with a big stop. Their first drive of the third quarter, I mean, ended up picking up a couple of first downs.
Yeah, it looked really good. It looked like they were trying to get this offense on track and finally figure something out, and then got all the way down and just couldn't really punch it in, and Pennsbury took over and just put the foot back on the throat and never relinquished it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing on that drive that hurt them, there was a personal foul that ended up being too much for the Panthers to overcome. And there's some hard-nosed running by William Tennent. Was that Hurley? Yeah. Brings up a 3rd and 3.
Bring up a 3rd and 3.
So a couple of tough weeks for the William Tennent Panthers. And my daughter is playing tennis for the Ben Salem Owls. And there's been a couple of, most of the matches that Ben Salem has played, 3rd and 3 coming up with 2:20 to go. Gunther hands off to Hurley, and Lorenzo Hurley, another first down for William Tennent as he's across the 40, down close to the 35-yard line. And it's that experience being a dad of an athlete on one of these programs that struggles at times and is kind of overmatched by some of the programs that they face. It gives me a kind of a new perspective on the Panthers and the experience that these young men have. I mean, the sacrifice that you have to make just to get out there on the football field, and you're looking to have a good time, build camaraderie with your teammates, and sometimes it's not necessarily about wins and losses, but about the whole varsity football experience. Whoa, a snap that goes over the head of the quarterback. It's loose on the field and picked up by the Pennsbury Falcons. And streaking down the field is Parada and goes into the end zone. That TD makes it 44-0 with 1:22 to go.
Wow. That thing sailed right over Gunther's head, and Parada was all over it. First one there.
And that's the kind of thing, as a dad of a student athlete now, I feel for the Panthers in a way that is a little bit different than I used to. And just kind of a miscue right there. That ball went way up over their heads. The Falcons made some defensive changes and stuff, but those guys still deserve to play hard.
Yeah.
And they come up with a big play, and as you said, Parada with the scoop and score. So 44-0 now, and Pereira looks to add the extra point. But I certainly hope that the Panthers and these other student athletes that go through all the things that you need to go through to be part of a program recognize how proud their school is of them, their parents are of them, their coaches, and even their fellow teammates. They see the work that you put in to be your best. And, sometimes it doesn't, the scoreboard is lopsided, but it's given me kind of a different perspective on the whole high school athletics experience and everything. And I want to lift up the William Tennent Panthers and the efforts that those guys make in the weight room, at practice, to get out there on the field and to continue to strive to get better each and every play. Because it takes, you get down. You can't help but get down a little bit.
And it's we've seen it in professional sports as well. You just saw it with like Trey Turner and the Philadelphia Phillies. He put the work in. He kept striving to be his best, and the results aren't just working. And the fans let him know that they were supporting him. And the same thing should be done right here with William Tennent. Obviously, not the game you wanted, but your fans, your your teammates, your fellow students—they're still behind your back and still rooting for you.
Knowing people are supporting you can take a certain someone a long way. You saw it with Trey Turner.
As Angelo Pereira approaches the football with 1:22 to go here in the fourth quarter, and that one skips out of bounds, and I believe was touched. So that's why we don't see the flag for a procedure issue. can't kick the ball out of bounds, but I think it skipped off of one of the Panthers.
That first game where they did the standing ovation for Trey Turner, I was in attendance, so you're all welcome, by the way.
You didn't start it.
It was
man.
all Ben's idea.
It's all me.
It was all you.
All right, so I got to, why are we not rolling the clock?
I think they don't roll it after the kickoff, but once the
Okay.
first play after the kickoff begins, then they'll start the clock. I think that's the only time they stop it is for touchdowns and the kickoff.
I can never keep that stuff straight. Injuries, too, I think. But
injuries, too.
There's like a handful of stuff.
That they'll still stop it for, but for the most part, they'll keep it going. So after this play is snapped, they'll just keep it running.
I formation for the Panthers. And Gunther with a pitch. And that play doesn't get too far because Jake Parada is there with the stop on Jacob Lindsay. Lindsay, yeah, right. He's out there, a freshman, getting a little work.
Yeah, and even though the score isn't what you want, we talked about it. There's some guys that don't normally get to play that's getting some experience right now. And even though it's not going to make a big difference at the end of the game in the score, but it's going to make a big difference for these players just to be able to get out there and just get some playing time.
You can brag about the highlight that you had, right?
Exactly, just like that.
Scoop and score.
The scoop and score. May not have played that much, but you made a highlight.
That ball bobbled around. Flag comes out in the backfield. I think we're going to call like a block in the back, perhaps.
Oh, they stopped the clock, Chris. I guess flags are one of them.
It is a hold on the Panthers. So, yeah, with the Panthers, like I said, some positive stuff in the third quarter. But penalties hurt them. Some personal fouls and a holding call right there. All right, Ben has his DiLorenzo's gift certificates. We got to hook up Noah Rice from last week and hope to talk with Nate Begley. As we get our DiLorenzo's player of the game, and let's just get this one over with.
Yeah, we only got 30 seconds left.
Now they wind the clock. I didn't check out the beautiful full moon that's out tonight.
Yeah, Ben has told me about it like 4 times now. It was orange at one point, rooting for Pennsbury, you know?
I believe that's going to do it. The William Tennent Panthers going to wave the white flag as the final 6 seconds come off the clock. And the Pennsbury Falcons go to 1-1. A dominant 45-0 win over the William Tennent Panthers. Panthers fall to 0-2. Next week we move on to Newtown, PA. And the Pennsbury Falcons will take on Council Rock South. And from the score that we saw, the Golden Hawks had a really good night against Neshaminy, and that makes next week's game, I think, even more interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one. Pennsbury traveling to Newtown and facing that South team. But after last week, you would have been a little bit concerned. But after this week, you're feeling great going into that game. It's going to be interesting to see what the final score is between that South and Neshaminy game. But man, that's going to be a fun one next week.
Yeah, they definitely carry momentum into next week's contest, but so do the Golden Hawks. Meanwhile, Ben Goldstein down on the field awaiting our DiLorenzo's player of the game. We're going to step aside, take care of a couple of quick messages, and return with more post-game coverage on the WBCB Sports Network.
Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Close out your summer in style at Team Toyota during the national sales event. We have new Toyota inventory on the lot with no markups above MSRP. And with over 100 certified Toyotas available, you could find the right fit for your lifestyle or for your budget, with 20 used cars under $20,000. And our service and collision centers are high-tech, comfortable, and can save you time and money. Visit one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or shop or schedule online at teamtoyota.net.
1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
Falcons win the Week 2 game 45-0 over the William Tennent Panthers. And our DiLorenzo's player of the game, Nate Begley, is down on the field with Ben Goldstein. Whoop, I'm sorry, we got some technical difficulties going on there with Ben. I apologize, as he hands the DiLorenzo's gift certificate. Oh, no, hold on a second. We got to get our microphone hooked up.
Passes today for you, 3 complete, 2 touchdowns, 1 was a 26-yarder. Is this something new for you guys? You're going to start passing the ball more?
I believe so. I think definitely, since everyone knows that we're a heavy run offense, I think throwing the pass in here and there is going to open up our playbook and open up our ability to score, and I think it's going to help us lead to more wins in the rest of the season.
Big bounce back win this week. You guys needed it. How'd you do this week in practice to prepare today?
I think definitely in practice we were hard. We were disappointed in ourselves because of our performance against Coatesville, but we stepped it up, turned it around. But in all reality, we're looking forward to CB West. That's the game circled on the calendar.
All right, well, let's look at next week against Council Rock South, your final game before you start playing your SOL matchups. What do you look at with Council Rock South to prepare for next week?
In all reality, I think we just got to stay better and humble on defense. Obviously, we had a good defensive game with the shutout, but we need to be more disciplined. We need to be breaking down, making more tackles, and just playing better as a team.
All right, that is your DiLorenzo's the Berg player of the game, Nate Begley. Thank you very much. Chris, back to you.
All right, thank you, Ben, and I apologize for the technical issues as we got that interview going. Thanks to Ben Goldstein for doing our post-game interview and to Nate Begley for joining us. He is our DiLorenzo's player of the game. He gets a gift certificate for some pizza, and we pass along one to Noah Rice, who was our player of the game last week, and I lost the gift certificate in my lunchbox. 45-0, the Pennsbury Falcons beat the William Tennent Panthers. Thanks so much to all of our sponsors for helping to make today's game possible. Thanks to our crew here, of course, Gus Barber doing our video engineering, Ben Goldstein with our post-game, and MK Maher behind the camera for us throughout the game. Excellent job, everybody, and thanks to you for being with us out there and catching some high school football on WBCB. Tonight's game brought to you by Rob's Automotive, BCWSA, Penn Community Bank, Team Toyota, PNC Bank, Kim Rock of Keller Williams, McCaffrey's Supermarket, the Pennsbury Education Support Professionals, thanks to St. Mary Medical Center, the Revere Restaurant, Junior's Car Wash, Lower Bucks Hospital, Puss in Boots Tavern, Kramer's Bakery, Charcoal BYOB, the Peruzzi Auto Group, BAI Security, thanks to the Pennsbury Football Parents Club, Johnson Chiropractic, Yardley Pharmacy and Supply, DiLorenzo's Pizza, Jammer Doors, the Trentonian, Villa Rosa, and Yardley Family Haircutters. Well, it was just about a perfect night, except we didn't get Ben's mic on right away. But besides that, a great night for the Pennsbury Falcon football team. We had a pretty good night up here with the broadcast, a great crew. Thank you guys for all of your work, and we'll get back next week. More Friday Night Lights for you. We're in Newtown for that one as the Pennsbury Falcons take on the Council Rock South Golden Hawks, both teams with 1 win and 1 loss this season. No. 1-1 for Pennsbury. I think 2-0,
yeah,
right, for the Golden Hawks. All right, get it straight. Again, thanks to the crew, thanks to you, and we'll catch you next time. One final time from Harry S. Truman High School, it was the Pennsbury Falcons 45 and the William Tennent Panthers nothing. Thanks for